Okay. Let's try that. Okay. So I want to go through this with you guys. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about how do I manage my database? What's the best and most efficient way? And of course, in this program, it's about getting listings, but it's also about not losing our past clients in the process and losing the information or the data that we collect. So I want to take you through just kind of my philosophy on how the database looks and how to structure your database in a way that might be effective for you kind of for long-term growth. So first off is I look at the database like this is first in this background here, we have the people that are our geographic or demographic farm. This could be what's called your target market, your target audience. A geographic or demographic farm. Demographic could be like maybe you have like a group of cyclists that you want to be known as the real estate agent that helps them, or maybe you have a bunch of golf buddies or something, or a past life you had a sphere of contacts that you wanted to be known with that group. So that's called a demographic farm. And a geographic farm, obviously, is a farm that's associated to an area, either a neighborhood or a neighborhood or maybe a city or a county or whatever that is geography wise. The next category is people that are influenced by you, and this is a little more confusing, so I'm going to skip over that and then I'm going to come back to it. People that know you. Now, this is pretty easy. So typically, when I say to somebody, hey, let's put together your database. How many people do you know? They're going to give you an answer typically of about 75 people, and that's this category here, which is people that know you. And so we know, though, from Facebook that when we start collecting data on people, that all of a sudden people start reaching out to us and saying, hey, no, wait, you in some way influenced me in my life. And so an example I use of this one is I remember there was a gentleman that reached out to me years after high school, and he said, hey, Sean, do you remember me? And to be honest with you, I didn't really remember him. But in this instance, this gentleman in high school, I had done an active service to help him out. He was getting picked on in the hall, and I guess I pushed away the bullies that were picking on him. And forever, he felt that there was this, connection between he and I because I helped him out. And so I influenced him. So even though I didn't really remember the specifics of the details, I obviously remember who he was, but I didn't really remember the specifics of the details. I influenced him. So in his mind, I'm a loyal friend to him, and he is loyal to me. And so these are people that are influenced by us. And Facebook does a great job of pointing this out. As soon as all of a sudden you log into Facebook and you have all these people that are reaching back to you saying, hey, you're somebody I want to be friends with, or you're a friend of a friend that I want to know. Those are people that are influenced by you. Now, the reason that this line is dashed is because we can't always identify these people. These people exist typically somewhere between people that know us and people that are within our geographic or demographic farm. And so we just have to be cognizant of them. And then the last one is people that love us. So people that love us are people who know us and love us and care about us. These are our people that could also have used our products or services before, so they know and trust us. And that's this group here. This is typically a very small group of people. And like you say to somebody, who are the people that love you or your raving fans? This can be a small group, about 20, 25. Okay. Now, our goal, of course, is to move people from our geographic or demographic farm into people who are influenced by us by either using our product and service or somehow meeting us or shaking their hand and getting to know them a little bit better. So now they're influenced by us. People that know us are people that use our product or service. And then people that love us are our closest friends and acquaintances. So this is how I look at a database and how I would actually segregate my database based on this. Now, getting into the marketing of the database is where it gets a little more confusing. So we're going to back out of this. And for real estate, what we want is we want this entire group here, this entire group on getting the same message consistently, which is that you're successful in real estate, that you're in real estate, that you're successful at real estate, and then getting your contact information. So if you watch the video in week 6, it talks about the psychology behind the marketing that goes out, and that the key to marketing is to simply let them know what industry you're in and that you're successful at doing it, and then letting everything else run the course. So what this graph is here to represent is that everybody in this group here is actually receiving this information. So nobody is exclusive of Just Listed, Just Solds, because Just Listed, Just Solds represent that you are in real estate and that you're successful at doing it. Now, if you don't have any current Just Listed, Just Solds, then go ahead and use your company's Just Listed, Just Solds, or even use the neighborhood or the geographic farm Just Listed, Just Sold, and put an asterisk on it saying that obviously you didn't sell this property, but yet you're giving them data. Because we know that the consumer is not going to read the fine print on the marketing. All they're going to see is a house, the sold sign, your picture, and your contact information, and they're going to instantly just assume you sold that property without reading anything beyond that point. Next is the influenced by you. Now, this is a different group of people. So this is influenced by you. So this is your past clients. This is people that might be your insurance agent, your banker, your attorney. This could be your family's insurance, banker, attorney. This is any contact that you make. Literally, any dinner party you go to, you gain contact information. They fall into this influenced by you demographic, okay? Now, your goal on this demographic is really to grow this field as large as possible. Now, what do these people get? They get the Just Listed, Just Solds, as well as the newsletter or item of value. They get both, and this goes out ideally, if not quarterly, it goes out monthly, okay? We want to increase frequency if we can. So if you're on a tight budget, then you're going to do this quarterly. If you have more of a liberal budget, then this is going to go out once a month. So this group of people, therefore, is going to get two items of value each month, okay? If there are 2 items from you each month. Next is the next group is the people who know us. These are the people who know us, love us. There are kind of our inner circle. So as Buffini calls it, it's your A-list clients. He says narrow your database and love on the ones that are your A-list. That's exactly what he's talking about here, is this know you category. And so these people they get special events, okay? So you might have a group of clients that might fall into the influenced by you, where they might have done a transaction with you, yet let's say they're outside of your target market area. They're not your ideal client, so they don't fall into the know you clientele. But the know you clientele is typically all of your past clients that have purchased from you, as well as your friends, family, sphere of influence, and possibly some of these people, again, that are influenced by you. That's, again, why I typically look at this influenced by me as a dotted line instead of a solid line, because it's blurry, right? This whole section right here is very blurry, but you have to make a judgment call on if these people receive special events. So special events are events that you're going to do ideally twice a year, if not 4 times a year. They're going to be different size events, and they're going to be based on the demographic that you're going after. And so we'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a minute. The next group then is the people who love you. And the people who love you, what do they get? They get your time. They get actually special time with just you. And so the way this looks is this group, they get to have lunch with you. They get to have dinners with you. They get to have special events. The people who love you are your raving fans. And the way you know that they're your raving fans is they've either bought and sold many times with you, or they send you lots of referrals, right? You're going to know that you're raving fans because they're sending you lots of referrals consistently. So that's this group right here, is know and love you. And so they're going to get your special time. They're going to get invited to special events. They're going to get your newsletter and item of value, as well as the Just Listed, Just Sold cards. So if you look at this group here, they're getting to see you quite often, right? But this is the group that's going to send you more referrals than the rest of the group, right? And then your goal is always moving them from here, geographic farm, people that you don't know, into that they're influenced, they met you, they shook your hand, they know you, meaning they've used your product or service, and then from there they love you, they become a raving fan. So this is the psychology behind managing a database. Now let's look at what an event funnel looks like. So we talk about managing these events, and here's what's important, because we look at creating a marketing schedule. Let's go to this here real quick, because this will help explain the importance of this event. So a marketing schedule is literally your yearly schedule on how you're gonna manage your database, okay, and how you're gonna manage your marketing. So what emails are going out and when are they going out? Is it getting mailed? Here's emails, and here's mailers, and then here's your events. So this looks massively overwhelming, but when you understand the way that this pencils out, it actually is very easy. Now understand, as far as emails go, as well as mailed, I suggest having your Just Listed, Just Sold cards going out every single month, just consistently. Every single month on the 15th, Just Listed, Just Sold goes out. If you have addresses, you mail them. If you have emails, you email them. If you have both, they get both, okay? We don't always know how the consumer wants to be communicated with, so we need to ensure that, that these things are going out consistently for them. So here's a blank example of the marketing schedule, and I'll post this on the website under week 6, so if you want access to this, it'll be on the Listing Generator website. So ideally, what we're going to see here is, here's the schedule for 2016, let's say. Mailed every month, we're going to have a Just Listed, Just Sold go out. Emailed every month, Just Listed, Just Sold. This is what I'm doing, and I'm successful at doing it. Next, then, is what are your special items of value? As you can see here, we have a baseball magnet, Kids Eat Free card, ice cream invite to what is this ice cream event here, a football magnet, a dining card, right? And then here is an Easter e-card. I'm not sure what we had here as far as database email, some type of email to the database, and then down here is Christmas card, and then this is Christmas card and a special ornament just to that sphere of influence that knows and love you. All right, so for each month, you're going to have something in here in order to communicate to your database. Now, what I really want you to understand, though, is the importance of these events. So going back here, you see there's Valentine's Cupcake Day, where you're inviting them to a local bakery to pick up a free cupcake. Here is Ice Cream Sunday, inviting them to a local ice cream shop to pick up a free ice cream, okay? This is a baseball Sky Sox Day, right? Design Day. I'm not sure what the agent had for this one, but this is actually a real agent's marketing schedule for 2014. And then Thanksgiving, come pick up your pie day. Now let's go back to the event funnel and see how this coordinates with this chart. If we look here at the way the event funnel works, the event funnel, we start with an email, and then we mail, and then we call, and then we invite to the event. Now, for emails, we typically have many, many, many more emails than we do addresses, right? So that's why it's larger here at the base, as emails are larger. Then we mail them something, right? So for this ice cream sundae, right, we'll start here with an email, probably back here about 30 days out, okay, you would do your email. And then about 15 days out, you're going to do the mailer invitation to the ice cream party. And then 7 days out, you're calling and inviting to the ice cream party. And then you're having the ice cream party. If you look at this as far as this looks, the ice cream party would look like this. This group probably would get an email and or a mailer, okay? Because we're not going to have their phone number typically. If we do, wonderful. If we don't have their email address, then we mail them. If it's a geographic farm, we don't typically have their email address. These people that are influenced by us, at some point in time, we've met them and shook their hand. So they're going to get the email as well as the mailer. These people, same thing. They're going to get, these are our past clients, sphere of influence, people that know us. So they're going to get the email, mail, as well as the phone call, as well as these people here are going to get the email, mail, as well as the phone call. Kristen has a question. Kristen says, great question. Great question. Okay, let's go back to the lead funnel. So Kristen's question is, how do you get free ice cream, drink, whatever coupons for your clients? Do you pre-purchase? How do you approach a business to do this? This is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So many, many, many businesses are looking to drive events and they just don't know how to do it. And remember, they assume that real estate agents have 200, 300 clients just at their beck and call. So approaching a business and telling them that you would like to hold an event at their location. You ask them what days of the week are the slowest days for them. Typically, that's going to be a Tuesday or a Wednesday for most small businesses is when they're going to be a little slower. You might schedule the event, like if it's an ice cream social, I would do from 2 o'clock to about 6:30. And then the way I would arrange it is I would go to Walmart and pick up the little tickets, those the tickets that like little raffle tickets. They have them for about $3. And as people come into the event, you're going to give them a free raffle ticket. The owner or the business manager is going to collect the tickets, and at the end of the event, and each ticket is going to basically have a value. Okay, so each is going to have a value. So you might have a value of like $4 or $5, and it's only going to cost you $4 for the same cost of that value. So for instance, if you go to a Cold Stone ice cream shop, and for a medium ice cream it's $4, I would do. Each ticket's worth $4 in value, yet I'm going to expect a 20% discount. So I'm going to pay $3.20 for each ticket by the manager. So I'm going to get a discount based on their rate. Yet, the way I'm going to pay for it is with a vendor. So invite a mortgage person or a home inspector, somebody else who makes money when you make money, to attend the event. Your job is to drive traffic to the event, your past clients, your sphere of influence. Their job is to pay for the ice cream that's consumed at the event. Did that answer your question, Kristen? Awesome. Okay. Now, here's what I want to make very, very clear. The most important piece of this is not the event, okay? The event is just a reason to email, mail, and call your database, okay? That's what this is about. This is about interacting with your database in a way that they see you as somebody who cares about them, feels like it, that you're paying attention to them. In most of these scenarios, what will happen is you're going to get a small turnout to the event. Your event's going to get, you might market to 200, 300 people, and you're going to get about 15 to 20 people. At best, you're going to get about 50, okay? But the point is, if you're getting 50 out of 300 contacts, you contacted 300 people. The ratios, just like in lead generating, is the same ratios when it comes to conversion. If you have 50 people show up, you're likely going to generate one deal out of that event simply because the conversation of real estate is going to come up, even though you're not pushing real estate at the event. The event is about you being thankful for them for being a loyal customer. Okay? Okay, I'm going to pause. You guys have any questions on this? Okay, no questions. All right. So I want to jump back for a minute, and I'm going to show you guys a graph. So I'm going to ditch my screen for a second. I'm going to pull this graph up, and I'll be right back. Okay, there's two graphs I want to show you guys that I thought was very interesting. Okay, this first graph I want to show you, and I'm gonna ask you to explore this in your current market area. This graph is from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I coach 3 agents down there, of which are doing just outstanding. And what I want to show you here, though, is what is going on in their listing inventory down there. And I assume this is probably likely true in most other markets. Now, I'm in the Denver Boulder market area, which is the #1 job market in the country, as well as the #1 real estate market in the country, arguably. Okay? But what I want to show you on this graph, if you notice here, this shows 2013, 2014, 2015, and you see these peaks and these valleys, and these peaks and these valleys, and these peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. So I asked the agent in Colorado Springs to pull this graph because we were trying to represent to the consumer that the seasonality in the market, that the markets ebb and flow based on a seasonal track. Now, depending on where you are, if you're in a southern market where it's warmer in the wintertime than the northern markets, yours might look a little different than this one. Yep, this is what I want to show you, is if you see here, January is a low, and then if you look back here, January is a low, 2013, January is a low, and 2011, January is a low. And you can see here, here's your peak in inventory is July, 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 right? So I know you're saying, yeah, duh, Sean, we already get this. But here's what's really interesting. Look at the inventory for July of 2015. Look at how much higher it is over the past 5 years. This is a very interesting statistic because when I show you the next graph, let me click over to the next one. You'll see here, this is the current days on market in the same area. So what we're seeing now is rising days on market graph. And days on market has been slightly rising consistently in Colorado Springs since about March. This agent currently has about 14 listings, of which about half have sold and the other half are sitting in inventory. And we're having a conversation about price reductions and to communicate to a consumer about seasonality in the market, right? Communicating to them, hey, the market is seasonal and we're going to need to adjust for that season, meaning, if inventory is extremely high in July and we're likely to fall off towards the fall, then we want to adjust prices aggressively now. This graph here, as you can see, is showing days on market in association with, in relationship to the purchase price of the property. So this is $1 million properties are taking upwards of 250 days to sell. And so you'll hear agents all the time say something like, the average days on market in my neighborhood or in my area is 75 days. Well, that's true if you look at the average. But if you look at subcategories of price point, it logically goes up in each area because there's fewer buyers in each category. So the reason I bring this up is right now, if you're sitting on inventory, if you're sitting on vacant listings, and you pull the other chart that we discussed, which is this chart here, and you see that you're at the peak of a market, right? You're sitting in July here, right? If you're sitting in July, then that is what you're looking at moving forward. You're looking at a downturn moving forward, and you have to get aggressive on your prices. This is a great graph to show your sellers. So you're not just telling them, a lot of times with sellers, if you tell them, they assume that you might be doing it to, get your commission or, whatever. But this graph is very telling. So go ahead into your multiple listing service and see if you can pull this graph up for yourself, as well as the one showing current days on market for each price point, and to further a conversation. Okay, any questions on these two graphs? You're welcome, Kristen. Kirsten said, thank you for giving us the material to talk about with the sellers. Absolutely. And yeah, these are important graphs right now when it comes to pricing properties. And frankly, this is going to be important graphs at your listing presentations too, because what's going to start occurring between now and the fall is you're going to go on a listing presentation. The other agent is going to want to price aggressively. Let's just pretend right now, like this peak right here. Let's just pretend that right here is this peak of the market right here is 2015, because we can't see beyond this graph over here. But let's just say that this is 2015, and you're facing a downturn in the market, right? Likely you're facing this downturn. Well, another agent might price up over here, right? They're going to want to price the property up here because they're going to see this trend and they're going to go, oh, the market's going like this. Where the truth is, the market doesn't just continue to rise; it ebbs and flows, right? So, so your strategy, everybody else is going to want to price here. You're going to want to price here, right? Knowing that the market's shifting down. Now, that's a very tough conversation to have with a seller without evidence like a graph like this. The other reason that this is important is what we've talked about in this program is how you guys can generate more business by going after expired listings and for sale by owners. Well, assuming that this graph right here of July of 2015, this is where we're at a peak, and knowing after July, the market falls. 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 You get the trend? Okay, July, the market falls. Assuming that this graph holds true for this area, there's going to be a massive amount of expired listings after this fall. And it gives you an opportunity to clean house. Clean house. It's going to give you an opportunity to make more money in the third and fourth quarter of the year than you have ever made in any other year in your real estate career. This is going to create massive opportunity for you. So just by planning a little bit ahead of the market. So if you haven't been making your expired calls or you haven't been pushing yourself to do that, now is the time. Now is the time. And if you're just simply unwilling to do it, I implore you to just hire somebody to do it. My experience is that it doesn't have to be done by you. It just has to be done. In sessions 7 and 8 of the listing generator, we're going to go over how to hire somebody to make calls for you. I stopped making calls a long time ago, and currently to this day, I still don't make cold calls. But I know how to do it because I've learned it myself to a level enough that I can coach and train somebody to do it. Knowing that this opportunity lies ahead of you, right? This massive downturn of the market lies ahead of you, gives you an opportunity to just clean house. So if you're not going to do it, I implore you to find somebody and hold them accountable to do it. Okay? So that is what I wanted to cover today. It was a lot of information today. I thought it was totally awesome, though. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, we're going to log off. Any questions? I'm on a webinar. I'm almost done. Okay, guys. Looks good. You have a great week. Get out there. Make some money.